sex to a 14-year-old girl.
A 13-year-old girl.
He said that he was sorry. He wanted to move in my house with me and my kids.
You didn't marry him, did you?
Yes, I did get married to him.
18 years ago, I did commit a sex crime. I will not deny that. I've never denied that.
They told you not to marry him, right?
Yes, and I did anyway.
Because you married a registered sex offender, they took your kids away.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
4 years ago.
You chose a sex offender over your children.
I know you molested my niece and nephew, and you're going to be sorry.
My son sit there and said nobody touched him.
Steve, I have never touched those kids. There's a reason why I've not reoffended before. Again.
We don't know if you did or not. Let's get to these lie detector results. Evelyn met Danny in 2001 after he was paroled on charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse of a child. She knew what Danny had done, but fought to marry him anyway. She moved him into her home with her children and left him alone with them for long periods of time. Evelyn's brother Henry always tried to convince his sister that she was making a mistake, but now it may be too late. Take a look.
My sister Evelyn married a sex offender. Evelyn met Danny when he was on parole. Danny was on parole for molesting a child. Everybody tried to stop her from seeing him. She refused. She wouldn't listen to nobody. I just wish she would have never got out of prison. I wish she would have never been around my niece and nephews and my sister. I tried to get him away from my sister, and I called the authorities. I called DCFS. The kids got taken away twice because she wouldn't leave Danny alone. She lost all of her rights to her kids because she married Danny, and she left him alone with the kids. It hurts me real bad that my niece and nephews are gone. I was at my apartment when I found out that they were taken away. I just wish they could come home. I really do. When the kids got taken away, they told DCFS that Danny molested them. And I'm going to find out today if he did it. If Danny has and did molest my niece and nephews, I want him back in prison. He needs to stay in there forever. He should have never got out.
That's your brother on the tape, and he says that you lost your 4 kids because you married a sex offender.
Yes.
Is that true?
Well, there's more to the story. Basically, I met him in 2001. He told me what his charge was.
Where'd you meet him?
I met him at almost like a homeless shelter. I was doing community service there. And basically he told me what he was in prison for. And I think that everybody deserves a second chance.
What did he tell you he was in prison for?
That he went to prison for oral sex to a 14-year-old girl.
Well, 13-year-old girl.
13. And I believe that he deserved a second chance. He said that he was sorry for what he did.
A second chance at what? You believe that he deserved a second chance at what?
Not reoffending, not making a bad choice on messing with a teenager or a child.
And you had how many children at this point?
5.
And you started dating him?
6 months into the relationship, yes, I started dating him, but it's not like that I just moved him into my house around my kids. I went through DCFS first. I went and talked to an investigator. I went and talked to a caseworker and his parole officer.
What'd you talk to him about?
Told them about Danny's case. Danny went with me to DCFS, went with me to the parole officer, and the investigator and the parole officer and the caseworker all said, Danny's not a risk. He's not at risk to reoffend. They wrote.
He's not a risk. He spent 3 years in jail for assaulting a 13-year-old girl.
I understand that, but
I mean, come on. Whether anybody tells you that or not, you still assume there's some risk, right?
yes.
Especially as a parent to
Yes.
children.
And it
when you
was-
go to the line, if they say, oh, that line's fine, you can stick your hand through the bars. The line's old. But you know what? You really don't do it because there's still some risk involved, right?
Exactly. I understand that. And the thing is, The thing is, the investigator that I spoke to...
Why did you do all this? You're going to CPS, you're going to his parole officer, caseworker.
Because he wanted to move in my house with me and my mother.
And you wanted that?
It was not just, it was for all of us. He was good to me, he was good to my kids. My kids never ever said that he molested my kids. Never, not one time. He was always there for me and my kids. You know, the investigator said that he, you know, I'm the one that did Danny's original case. He's not going to reoffend. I know Danny. It wasn't like...
Are you just telling me that's the truth, that this guy actually said that? He didn't say, hey, you got 5 kids, you should probably be dating somebody else?
No, because he never said that. He never said that. And we all got the paperwork that...
He criminally sexually assaulted a 13-year-old, and everybody's like,
and he knew I had other
okay.
kids. He knew I had other kids. He knew that I had other kids. And they all three, the parole officer, the investigator...
When the show started and the tape was playing, you were crying.
Yes.
What were you crying about?
Because I don't like to see my brother crying like that. But do I think Danny molested my kids? No, I think... You
don't want to see your brother crying like that. How about... You don't have your kids, right?
No. And that's the thing.
How did you lose your kids?
Because of sex offender has excess being around my kids.
So somebody did have a problem with it.
Yes, my brother.
So all these people saying, oh, he's okay, it's all right. The state did have a problem with it.
Yes.
And what'd they say to you?
They said that they didn't want Danny to be alone with my kids, that he could be around the kids.
And you said what?
And I said, okay.
You said okay?
Yes. And I allowed him alone with my kids. He babysitted my kids.
Why did you do that?
Because I don't think Danny molested my kids. Here's my thing.
Okay,
Steve.
So hold on a second. He gets out of jail, you meet, you fight for him, you move him in the house. They say, hey, we don't, you didn't marry him, did you?
Yes, I did get married to him.
And they told you not to marry him, right?
Yes, the second time, yes.
They told you not to do that?
Yes, and I did anyway.
And because you married a registered sex offender, they took your kids away?
Yes.
You chose a sex offender over your children.
My son sat there and said nobody touched him.
See, I have never touched those kids. There's a reason why I've not reoffended before. Again.
We don't know if you did or not. Chose a sex offender over your children.
My son sat there and said nobody touched him.
It's not like you made a bad choice at a restaurant. Oh, I should have had the fish.
No, I made a bad choice for my children.
Right.
And the thing is...
But how does that happen? Like, yeah, you're going to be taken away if I marry this guy, but I'm going to marry him anyways.
Because I believed everything he said. I trusted him. He never hurt me and my kids, not one time in the 8 years. So then your kids get
taken away. Did you get them back?
Nope.
How long ago was that?
4 years ago.
So remember I just asked you why you were crying, and you said you were crying about your brother crying or being hurt? Well, what about your kids?
Because if I wish I would have never had a sex offender around my kids. If I would have known it was going to be like this.
You wish.
But I take
you
the
had
blame.
The power of not bringing a sex offender home.
But I take the blame. I blame nobody but myself.
Well, who else is to blame?
Nobody but myself.
No, nobody but yourself. How many times did they tell you, don't do this, or we're going to take your kids away? How many times?
Over 5 times.
4 or 5 times. So part of this sad story is that 4 of your 5 children, after they were taken away, reported that Danny sexually abused them.
That's what DCFS said.
That they've said that 4 out of 5 of your children reported to them that while you were gone, that Danny sexually abused him.
Yes.
Okay. And how does that mean? You still don't believe Danny did that?
Because Danny said that he's willing to get a life test to prove because he said he's tired of getting accused of molesting my kids.
So, you still believe in Danny?
I still believe that he didn't molest my kids because the only reason why I believe him is because not one time.
So why are you here
my
today?
kids.
Why are you here today?
I want him to take a lie detector test to prove that see if he passes it.
Even if he passes it, then what?
Then if he passes it,
then what?
Then you
and Danny could go out for a drink.
No,
what?
I don't want to be in a relationship with Danny.
So then what? So Danny passes. So then what?
Then everybody can sit there and stop saying.
Who's they?
My dad and my brother.
Oh, your dad, they can stop and say what?
That
you don't have your kids anymore?
No.
Oh, they can't stop and say that.
No, that he never molested my kids when he got accused of it.
What difference does it make if Danny molested them or not? I mean, it makes a big difference to the children if they are going to be screwed up for the rest of their lives. But what difference does it make if Danny molested them or not when you chose a sex offender over your children? So the reason why you and Danny aren't together is because he went back into prison, right?
Yes.
And he went to prison for 4 years. So you gave up your kids and the love of your life, and you have nothing.
No, I don't.
And now Danny's been out 2 weeks. And for your kids' sake, I hope he didn't. I hope they didn't become victims. But I still, do you love your children?
With all my heart.
With all your heart. Right. And I love my children with all my heart.
But I know I made a bad choice.
But why?
I know
How do you make a choice like that? I mean, you get married, they came and took your kids, right? What did you say to your kids when they were taking them away?
That I was sorry, that I loved them.
See, I have never touched those kids. There's a reason why I've not reoffended before. Again.
We don't know if you did or not.
I know you molested my niece and nephew, and you're going to be sorry. You're a peeping Tom, and you're a con artist.
Do you need a lie detector or DNA test to prove you're...
Never touched those kids. There's a reason why I've not reoffended before.
We don't know if you did or not. What did your kids say to you as they were leaving?
They was crying and told them they didn't want to leave.
They didn't want to leave. No, they wanted to stay with their mom. 4 kids wanted to stay with their mom, and you said, no, I'm picking him. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. 4 years ago, like, you're crying, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. We don't know where your kids are crying or if they're crying.
I know where my kids are at.
You know where they're at. Do you know what's happening to them every day?
Not every day, but I know where they're at. I know they're safe.
Oh, you know they're safe. She knows they're safe because they're not with her. You think that your kids may be not telling the truth, or CPS made up this crazy story?
I think DCFS put this in my kids' head.
Why would they do that?
Because they kept on getting phone calls from my dad and my brother and family members and friends about Danny being a sex offender around my kids.
Wouldn't every normal grandfather, uncle, cousin, friend, neighbor, wouldn't they all be like, well, what the hell are you doing, man? Didn't the school's counselor see signs of sexual abuse with your children?
With my son. And when DCFS went to the school, they interviewed my son, and he appeared fine. They said that.
Didn't it cause you concern that you had a child molester in your
Yes.
house and that your son, you were notified that he was showing signs of sexual abuse?
Yes, and I talked to my children.
What would you do about it?
I would talk to my children about it.
But what did you do about it?
I talked to my son about it and talked to Danny as well.
And then what? And
I said, Danny,
after you talked to both of them, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. Because my son sat there and said nobody touched him.
Could it be that a little boy's scared?
Yes, at the time I didn't know the signs of a sex offender. I
You
didn't
didn't know the signs of a sex offender? Hold
I
on,
mean,
hold
not
on.
a sex offender, of kids getting molested. I didn't know the signs of kids getting
You
molested.
wouldn't do all your research prior to bringing a guy like that home?
No, I didn't.
Hold on. I'm curious about something. My wife told me before I came out here that you're a big fan of my show,
I am.
that you love this show.
Because I know that you're strict.
Knowing your story, and if you watch my show all the time, why would you come on it?
Because I have changed my life. Because I turned my life around. Because I have my one son in my life, and today would I have a sex offender around my child? No. I would not.
What if he tells you he's never going to do it again?
He's still not going to be around my child.
Why?
Because I will lose my child. And the risk and DCFS getting called. I wouldn't take that risk.
Why wouldn't you do that with your 5 other kids?
Because I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't listen to my family.
Drugs?
No, I wasn't on drugs.
This was sober. This was sober Evelyn making these decisions. You probably should have been watching this show a long time ago before you started dating Danny. You know, leave the stage. I'm going to talk to Danny. We'll bring you off his results. Let's bring out the man that she gave her 5 kids away for, Danny.
Steve, hold up. I'm here to tell you, Steve, I have never touched those kids. I have never touched them. I've never planned on it. I treated them as if they were my own children. I've done my time. I will never deny that I was a sex offender. 18 years ago, I did commit a sex crime. I will not deny that. I've never denied that. I'm not proud of what I've done, but I can assure you that I never touched Evelyn's kids in any part of way. I was there for her, her mother, I actually helped her brother.
When you hear her story, that because of you, she got her 5 kids taken away. What do you think about that? How does that make you feel?
I'm ticked off of myself because of my background, because it did.
How does it make you feel that this woman lost her 5 kids because she chose you?
Like a piece of crap. We did go through DCFS. They are trained. They know what they're doing. The case that
You guys say that. You say that you went there, but you got no proof of it.
I go through DCFS. They are trained. They know what they're doing. The case that
You guys say that. You say that you went there, but you got no proof of it. Did you molest them?
No, I did not.
Okay.
That's what I'm here to show. That the
Okay,
kids were taken
you're here to
wrongfully.
prove. Yeah, you're here. They were taken away. No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
Because they were taken away because they warned her, if you marry this guy, we're taking the kids away.
No, we were.
No, that's what happened.
No, we had an approval that
Where's the approval? Show me the approval.
That's the mysterious thing. It's
That's a mysterious thing.
We've talked to the caseworkers since then.
Where's
that are no longer
the
there.
approval? If I had to make sure I didn't get my kids away and I was marrying a sex offender and they gave me a piece of paper that says I can do that, I think I would laminate that thing and keep it in my pocket.
We fully believe that her brother Henry stole it.
No, you believe he stole it.
Yes,
okay.
we do. We
So
also
you're
believe, 'cause
saying
we got
that
the caseworkers that were involved, my parole agent,
but then when you
his
got married, they
supervisor,
came in, they took
a
the
sex
kids,
counselor,
right?
That proved that I'm not a high risk to reoffend. Mysteriously, that's disappeared from even the DCFS
Why
office.
aren't you a high risk to offend?
Because it was 18 years ago and I've not reoffended since. You take that into accountability. There's a reason why I've not reoffended.
How long ago was that with the kids, though?
They was accused, that was approximately 5 years ago they made the accusations.
So it wasn't 18 years ago.
Okay, we'll say 13 until the next
right.
accusations were made.
Right.
But there's a reason why I've not reoffended before. Again, let me
We don't know if you did or not.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
He laughed about that.
Yeah, because you've already made a judgment.
Yeah, I have.
So tell me something. If
my judgment isn't really so
at what
much.
point was I
my
at risk?
judgment so much is not with you. Like I said earlier, you are not hiding yourself. You're like a tiger walking on the street. And if I saw a tiger walking on the street, I cross the other side. Or if my kids are with me, I go, hey, stay away from the tiger. Tiger's going to hurt you. So, I mean, me personally, no, I don't like child molesters. I'm not going to lie.
Makes two of us.
I don't like them.
That makes two of us. I can agree with you.
Right. But what I don't like is a woman who doesn't protect their kid from the danger, the tiger.
I'll give you that. Can I ask you?
This story isn't so much about you.
Right.
It's about her. She's I don't know what her problem is, but she had to have you. I got to have this guy. Even though I know I'm going to lose my kids, I got to have them. And then there are reports, 4 of the 5 kids stated to the Department of Children's Services that you did sexually abuse them. They reported that.
Okay.
So she didn't protect them from the tiger.
At what point, I'm going to ask you a question, at what point did I become a tiger?
When
If she would've got with me before the sex
forced-
crime-
Hold on.
At what point did I become a
I'll
bad
answer the
guy?
question. When you forced a 13-year-old to commit
There was no
oral
force.
sex on you.
First, there was no force.
What's that?
There was no force, but that's irrelevant.
It wasn't forced?
There was no force, but that's irrelevant.
So you can't force a child then, right?
Well, you can.
Well, but you did.
My case was not a force. That's
a
why I admit
13-year-old wanted that, right?
it was a situation that was,
You want to examine? You want to go down that road?
we could, if you'd like to.
Yeah. Because somehow the child was at fault here, right?
No, I was a fault because I should have been the adult in the matter. When I was
There
woke
you
up,
go.
When you're
There
being
you
woke
go.
up,
When you're an adult, you're supposed to protect the children, right?
Exactly.
You were 27 years old at the
I was
time?
26. I was 27 when the crime
I love
was
how they,
convicted.
those,
Well, you made the
stretch
point
it a little
earlier.
more.
Not
Okay.
14, 13, so I thought I'd stress that also.
There you go.
I mean, you made the point of 1 year is different.
so
I'm
you were
making the point
okay.
1 year is different.
You were a grown adult.
I should have been
And she was
mature.
a child, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's why I will never deny.
How's
what
that
I did.
sound better?
It don't.
Okay. So, again, you did what you did, and like you said, it's a mistake, but whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's her, right?
Right. What Evelyn did is we did go through DCFS. They are trained. They know what they're doing. The case.
You guys say that. You say that you went there, but you got no proof of it.
We couldn't bring those people on stage.
Well,
we couldn't
because
get a hold of them.
they want to come, right?
Got to get a hold of them.
Okay.
We
But
didn't get that
again,
much
you
headway.
said you had the magical piece of paper that authorized you to get
disappeared.
married, and there's no record of
The
it
two
anywhere?
caseworkers no longer work at DCFS.
But I
The
mean, they
parole
don't
agent has
keep
retired.
they don't keep a
remember this.
record of this somewhere.
No. Even the
They
Department
just
of
picked up
Corrections.
one copy.
Even the Department of
They
Corrections. I
just
went to
sit
Internal
there.
Affairs there. Once you're off parole, they destroy everything
They destroy it. Why would they destroy that?
because they're idiots.
Okay. What's your feelings towards Evelyn?
She's a good person. I mean, she would help you.
Now
help
that's
anybody.
funny. That I'll give you that. That's funny.
Okay?
That tickles my funny bone.
I missed the humor there, but okay.
Well, I missed the humor in the whole story. I mean, here's a woman that she like just gave away 5 kids. No matter how you want to spin it, that's what happened.
Okay.
She gave away 5 kids. That's undisputable fact.
Okay.
How was she a good woman? Her
Because-
4 kids or 5 kids, when they were leaving, when they came and said, okay, we told you this is what's going to happen, they started taking those kids, and those kids were crying for the mom.
You keep mentioning how DCFS told her not to be with me.
They
But
did.
you failed to mention the fact
They
that when
did.
the kids, when
they
Evelyn,
said, if you marry that guy, we're going to take your kids.
but what you failed to mention is when Evelyn had to be, she got addicted to
The
Vicodin.
fact of it is, when those kids, when they said, you marry this guy, your kids are going to get taken away, and that's what happened.
And where they
came
contradict.
and they took them, and they started
You're going
crying.
on one side of the story, not looking at the whole thing.
Oh.
When Evelyn
What other
was,
side do I need to look at?
when Evelyn was admitted to drug rehab because of Vicodin,
I asked her if she was on drugs. She said no.
not at the time, no. That was a lot later.
Okay.
Whole time frame here.
So who
When
cares?
she was in
Who
co-
cares what happened afterwards?
Because this is during the same period.
No, it's
When
not.
Evelyn was.
You just said that she was sober.
She was when we met.
Okay.
It was a good 6
So
years
did she
down the
make the
road.
decision to marry you with Vicodin or without?
Without.
Okay, then I don't give a about the Vikings.
We're not talking.
Every child molester that comes on my stage wants to blame their problems on DCFS or the police. The problem with this story is not DCFS
not blaming that
or
either.
the police.
Listen.
It's you and Evelyn.
I promise when I get back, one more.
The problem with this story is not DCFS
not blaming that
or
either.
the police.
Listen.
It's you and Evelyn. Here's facts. Kids were taken away twice because of the relationship with you. That's a fact.
Okay.
She continued to allow you to be alone with the kids when she was instructed not to. That's a fact. In,
Okay, we'll go with that too.
in 2004, a school counselor reported that one of her kids showed signs of sexual abuse. That's a fact. Lost rights to a total of 5 of her children due to the refusal to end the relationship with a registered sex offender. That's a fact.
Okay.
You were convicted of aggravated criminal sexual abuse of a 13-year-old girl. You admitted that you committed the crime, and you were on parole for sexual abuse when you met Evelyn.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know.
Can I throw in
I
some
would,
factors
as a
that you
parent,
missed?
I'd have a problem with all those. Every single one of them.
Would you have a problem with DCFS having me?
I have no problem with DCFS at all.
You don't?
No, I don't.
There's
I
more
have a
paperwork.
problem with
She
people.
should have it.
Every child molester that comes on my stage wants to blame their problems on DCFS or the police or whatever. The problem with this story is not DCFS
not blaming that
or
either.
the police.
Listen.
It's you and Evelyn.
When the kids were taken, DCFS had come get them
I
and take
don't
care of them.
give a damn what DCFS
Well, you should get
did.
it out of your
What
damn
did-
head.
You know
But
what?
listen.
I'll say this. They did their job. They got them away from you.
Oh, they did. Oh, whoa. You don't know the fact, do you?
I know the facts.
When the kids were taken,
I know the
DCFS
facts.
had me take
I
care
know
of the
facts.
kids.
Yeah.
Obviously, you didn't know that.
You know what? Show me some proof that happened.
She
Show
showed
me
us the paperwork to have
some
it.
proof.
She should have the
Show
paperwork.
me some proof.
They had me come
If
and
you
take
don't
care of
have
the kids.
proof, you don't have.
Oh, these are the solutions have the paper. I didn't say I got the kids. They had me come to her place to take care of them with her
Okay, so
grandmother.
my wife just said all the documentation you brought, all the documentation you brought, there's none of that states that in there. Okay.
All right.
Am I lying? Is my wife lying?
I'll say no because I
Okay.
don't know.
We're not lying.
Okay.
I have no reason to lie. I don't give My kids, when I go home tonight, my kids are in their bedrooms. Okay. I'm fortunate enough in my life that you'll never be at my house.
I wouldn't want to come to your house.
You believe me, you'll never be there.
I mean, I've worked for the same people you worked for. Why would I go there?
You'll never be around my kids. And if I saw you around any other kids, I'd be the first guy. Hey, this is Steve Wilkos. I need the police right now because this guy is around some kids. Okay. The uncle to these children, Evelyn's brother's here. We want to bring him out. Why don't you just get up on stage, Bob?
You molested my niece and nephew, and you're gonna be sorry.
talk.
You're gonna be sorry. You're gonna be sorry you watch.
Okay.
I know a lot of stuff about you. You're a peeping Tom. You still. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you on a computer looking at girls under the age of 18. I know you molested my niece and nephews. You know, the only reason my sister was with you because you had a job, you have money, and you're a con artist. You can be real nice. You know what I'm saying? You have a smirk like, oh, I can get by with something.
Well, it's funny you
know what I'm
accuse me
saying?
when
You should have stayed in prison, and I'm going to make sure you stay in prison. When I get back, I'm going to make sure everybody knows everything about you. Everything.
Who doesn't? I've
And I'm
never
going to
hid
let
anything.
everybody know wherever you go, if there's kids, you're not going to be allowed in there. Seriously.
Go ahead, Henry.
You know, you took my niece and nephews away. You took her kids away, but it's your fault and her
If you
fault
were
'cause
so
she
much-
allowed you in her house, and I tried to keep you out more
She
than
allowed me in the
once,
house.
and you
Who
didn't
put
do
me
no
in the
God.
house after the kids were taken away? Who housed me?
Evelyn's the one that made
Who
the
housed
mistake.
me when the kids were taken?
Yeah, I brought you in my
Why
apartment.
would you do that?
I brought you in my apartment.
If I'm the bad guy, you're trying to get me away from the family, why would you house me?
Until 2 days later that you molested my niece and nephew.
You found out a long time ago that I was a sex offender, correct?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Why is the Thursday you gave me? I thought you said welcome home.
Okay.
I lost my niece and nephews because of you.
And I want to ask you about that. When's the last time when do you get to see your nieces?
I don't get to see any of them. The only one I have seen lately is my oldest niece. I've only seen my nephew once, and that's it. I haven't seen none of my other niece and nephews.
And how long has it been since you've seen them?
The other ones, probably 5, 6 years, maybe longer, maybe longer. You messed up my sister's life and my life by taking our kids away. Our nieces and nephews.
Do you believe that he?
I believe he molested them.
You believe he molested them?
Yeah.
Let's bring your sister back out.
Because before he met my sister, you're trash. You know I'm right.
Okay, all
let
I
me
want to
finish.
say
No,
is,
let me finish.
I want to say something. All I can say is, I don't think that Danny molested these kids.
I do.
Let me
I
finish.
do.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I don't think Danny molested these kids. I really don't think he molested these kids. Does Danny do whatever? He might. When I wasn't around him, all I'm saying is, Danny, I don't believe molested them kids. I really don't. And what are you going to do if he comes back and he passes?
I promise when I get back, one way.
The only emotional investment I have in this lie detector test is that your kids weren't victims. That's the only, like, if he passes, do I give a damn? I don't give a damn. At that point, he can get the hell off my stage, and I never...
What are you laughing about?
And the thing is, you're right. Life is about second chances, give people second chances, but not around me and my kids. They don't get that. It's his right as an American to go and live his life and get a second chance. He served his time. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time he's in jail, so he'll be back in there. But you're right, he gets a second chance. But doesn't mean you have to. And you don't have to give him a second chance with your kids. You want to do it, that's one thing. Every adult could pick whatever they want. But you don't get to throw your kids away because you want to be with them. But you did. That's the choice you made. Let's get to these lie detector results. I said, what, like there's going to be, oh yeah, he passed?
No.
Okay. You traded your children for a guy that you're not even with anymore. We asked him a question. Did you ever sexually molest any of Evelyn's children? He answered no. And he answered no 3 times because we gave him the test 3 times.
Yep.
And he did not tell the truth. Okay. All right.
I told you.
Hold on. Before today.
No.
I did not.
Okay. Hold on. My wife's telling me we want to bring out Dan Ribicoff. Now let's bring out Dan. I hear the story, Dan, and I want to run off stage, burn my clothes. You know, I hate this kind of story because you know what? There's always going to be a guy like that. I mean, that's the sad thing. There's always going to be a guy like that. He's out there right now. But this is the thing that just blows my mind. Like. My wife tells me I have something to say about his polygraph.
Yes, Steve. So Danny came into the polygraph room yesterday. I conducted 3 exams of the integrated zone comparison test, the most accurate polygraph test, scientifically rated at 99% accurate. I utilized the horizontal scoring algorithm, which it's paired up with, and Danny was trying to employ countermeasures during the polygraph test, and I guess maybe that's why he's saying that it's impossible that he failed, but your countermeasures were really lousy. So they didn't work, which in itself is a sign of deception. He needed a plus 13 to pass this test. His score was a minus 35.
So the good thing is, I'm guessing that a case like this could be reopened, investigated. Maybe we can send Danny back to jail. But hold on. What I want to know is, Mom, you're over there crying and you act like you're shocked. Why? Why is this?
Because I believed him.
You believed him? Why? What the hell did he ever tell you that you believe him?
That I trusted him. My kids never
He's a
came to
con
me.
artist. He knows how to con people.
The
Did
kids
you ever
never
trust
came
your
to us.
brother? Did you ever trust your brother?
Yes, 100%.
When your brother said, get rid of this guy, why didn't you trust your brother?
And I wasn't the only one that told you that. I wasn't the only one that told you that. Mom told you that. Dad told you that.
Thanks for coming.
Everybody told you that. To keep him away.
I did not.
All the
touch
years,
those kids.
Danny, let me tell you something.
All right, hold on.
Let me tell
I
you
do want to
something.
hear what you want to say to
All I
him.
have to say is I know that the lie detector test is not going to lie. 8 years I had you in my life for all my kids. 8 years. I lost my kids because I put you around my kids. And you sit here and you failed the lie detector test. It's not going to lie. And I hope and pray to God that you go to prison. Because my kids,
I'm going to make sure
my kids are damaged. Now the time DCFS wasn't mine.
you're lying.
Henry,
I'm gonna
you
make
said
sure you go to
yourself.
jail. You're a con artist.
You
know
said
how to-
yourself right here on the
Detector test is not
stage.
gonna lie.
You
If I'd
know,
have
you
passed,
know how to get
you
by
said
with
yourself
stuff
like that.
because you know how to
cannot
con
believe
people.
this.
You're very slick.
Well, you're
yourself
not
right
that
here.
slick,
You're book
and
smart
all
because
I
you con
hope is,
people.
Evelyn, when you go back home, you contact the police and use some conviction to put this guy behind bars. You, get the hell off my stage. You came here for answers.
apologize.
Hold on.
You need to
You
apologize
came here,
because your kids
you
are
came here
gone.
for answers, right? And you got them. And now you can get the hell off my stage. You're the one decent guy here. You want it?
I promise when I get back, one way or another, I don't care how I do it, he's going back to prison.
Let's go this way.